The first lesson for grade 5 for English in Canopy is The Missing Bat. This story is written by Vaishali Shroff. Vaishali Shroff is a writer, editor, and storyteller. Her stories reflect her love for traveling and experience with children. Before going to the lesson, The Missing Bat, we'll be discussing about the new words, vocabulary, and answer in one word in relation to the chapter The Missing Bat. So now we'll have the list of new words. The first one is stacked, second one is hunchback, third one is particular, fourth one is keyword, fifth one is claimed, sixth one is dentures, seventh is admired, eighth one is amusing, ninth one is giggle, 10th one is frown, 11th one is machine, 12th one is furious, 13th one is flick, 14th is detective, 15th is warehouse, 16th one is wrist, 17th one is factory, and 18th one is previous. Now we have the vocabulary in relation to the chapter, that is The Missing Bat. So first one is awe, a feeling of great respect or fear. Frown, to bring the eyebrow close together in anger. Third one is furious, that means very angry. Fourth one is quiver, that means shake. Fifth one is overnight, that is during the night. Sixth one is giggle, that is laughed softly. Now we have the list of answer in one word. A respectful term used to refer uncle is chacha. Pile one on top of another, stacked. Someone whose back is bent forward is hunchback. Sudden quick movement is flick. False teeth, dentures. A place for storing large amount of products, warehouse. And these you have to do in your notebook as an assignment. The new words, the vocabulary, and answer in one word. The purpose behind doing the new words, vocabulary, or answer in one word before the start of the lesson is that then when you are reading the lesson, you will be understanding the word, how to pronounce that word, you'll be knowing the meaning of the word, and it will give you a smooth flow when you are reading the chapter. So now, if you are starting with any of the story, it has three parts: start or beginning, middle, and end. In the first part of the story, we discuss about the characters introduced in that story, the place and environment, and the settings are described about that story. And when we come to the middle part, in this, the story moves with the action and the details are given. And in the end, the plot comes to an end. So now, we'll start with the lesson, The Missing Bat. It is a funny tale from Kashmir, the land of willow trees. And the story is about a cricket bat that was missing from Rahman's Chacha's warehouse. He suspected that young Ahmed had stolen it. The story in short is this. So now we'll proceeding with the story in detail. The Missing Bat. Abdul Rahman Chacha owned a big cricket bat factory in Sangam, near Srinagar. One could see cricket bats neatly stacked in rows all around his factory. Chacha was an old man with a hunchback. He was always frowning and always on his feet, tapping his walking stick as he went, trying to see what his workers were doing. Ahmed's father, Amir, was a worker at Chacha's factory. Ahmed stayed with him at the factory every day after school. He would stare at the tall stacks of now the explanation of the first page. Sangam, where the story is set, is near to Srinagar, the state capital of Kashmir. Because of the abundance of willow trees, this region is having near to 200 cricket bat factory workshop. Abdul Rahman Chacha owned a cricket bat factory. One could see the cricket bat in his factory, very neatly arranged, piling one on top of another. Abdul Rahman Chacha was an old man with a hunchback and wants to be very sure that his work is done. He used a walking stick and often used to frown at his workers. Amir worked at Abdul Rahman Chacha's factory, and he had a son. His name was Ahmad. He used to stay with his father at the factory every day when he comes back from the school. Cricket bats and all. He liked to hold and run his fingers across the bats after his father had shaped them with his machine. Gripping one by its handle, he would swing it in the air with a flick of his wrist. If Chacha caught Ahmed with a bat in his hands, he would clear his throat and say, "That's not a playing thing, boy. Put it back." And under Chacha's watchful eye, Ahmed would put the bat in its place. Did the old man know that he dreamed of being Sachin Tendulkar someday? Chacha was very particular about his stock. He liked to count the number of bats in his warehouse. He did this every evening before the workers left for home and every morning, and he loaded the bats onto his truck. He had imagined how he would play detective if any of his bats went missing. And then it happened. One morning, when Chacha opened the warehouse to take the stock out, load it onto his truck, he found that there was one bat missing. He was furious because he had admired the bat just the previous evening. It was the biggest and lightest one of all. That afternoon, Chacha gathered the workers and made them stand in a row. One bat is missing. Where do you think it could have gone? The workers looked down, shook their heads. They found it difficult to look at Chacha when he was angry. No one other than you all and me enters the warehouse. So where is it? Shouted Chacha. His eyes found Amir. A bat can't disappear overnight, can it? He asked. You are right, Chacha. It can't, Amir agreed. Where is Ahmed today, Amir? I do not see him around. Every day, Ahmed used to stay with his father in the factory, and he used to stare all that tall stalks of cricket bat. On several evenings after the sun had set, he would see the moon partly hidden behind the stack of bats. He would hold the bat after Amir had chiseled it with lathe machine and run his fingers across the length of the bat. Gripping it by its handle, he would swing it in the air. He was very small at that time, but still he dreamt of being Sachin Tendulkar someday. And at that very moment, Abdul Rahman Chacha used to take the bat from his hand and say that this bat is not for playing. And he was very particular about his bats. Before the workers left for home each evening, Abdul Rahman Chacha used to count the number of bats in his warehouse. He was very particular about the maintenance of his stock. And whenever he found a bat missing, he would start to play or to be detective. And one day it happened. One morning when Abdul Rahman Chacha opened his warehouse to take the stock out, and that has to be loaded in the truck, he found that one of the bat was missing. And that too, the one that was the biggest and lightest. He was very angry and ordered all his men to stand and inform them. Not in fact inform them, he told them in anger that one of his bat is missing. And he asked them, now you all tell me where that bat has gone. Everyone looked down and shook their heads. And whenever Abdul Rahman Chacha was in anger, they found it very difficult. All the factory men found it very difficult to face him. Then Abdul Rahman Chacha asked, how can a bat disappear overnight? No one else enters the warehouse other than you all and me. He screamed with anger. Then also everyone else continued to look down. Then he asked Amir, where is Ahmed today? Ahmed is not well, Chacha. He is resting at home today, Amir answered, now looking straight at the other man. Suddenly, one by one, the workers began to giggle. Chacha's beard quivered in anger as he shouted, what is so amusing? Amir began to study his toes again. Upon hearing him shout, everyone burst into laughter. We found the missing bat, Chacha, exclaimed Amir. Surely, this had to be some joke, thought Chacha. He didn't think he could get any angrier than he already was. You have been standing in front of me all this time, so how could you have found it? He spat out. Eyes shining, a big grin on his face, Amir pointed at Chacha's walking stick. The old man looked down. None of the workers had known until the day that Chacha could laugh so loudly or that he wore dentures. With a doubt in the mind, Chacha asked Ahmed, where is Amir? He is not to be seen today. Then Ahmed told that Amir is not well. He is down with cold and cough. Still looking down. Suddenly, one by one, everyone started giggling, then laughing, including Amir. This made Chacha more angry. He was shouting and saying to them, you all are shameless people. Why you all are laughing? Then in a delighted manner, Amir exclaimed, we have found the missing cricket bat, Chacha. That made Chacha very much surprised. But how can you all find the bat if you are still standing in front of me? Said Rahman Chacha. Then everyone looked down at the same time at Rahman Chacha's walking stick, and so did he. No one knew till that time that Rahman Chacha could laugh so loudly, and no one knew till then that he used to wear false teeth, that is dentures. With this, we come to the end of the story, and we get a character of Rahman Chacha, that he was serious, active and sharp, dedicated, strict, vigilant, and not too trusting. He had a suspicion in his mind regarding the others. When we have seen that when Ahmad was playing with the cricket bat, he takes off the bat from his hand out of suspicion. If the bat was one of the bat was missing, then again he had a suspicion on his own workers.